Hey everybody, I'm going to do a quick knife test and review on some mods that I did on this knife here. And so, let's take this bad boy into the testing area. Alright, let's test this Ganzo here. We've seen it fail in the lock test before. Let's see what happens now. Got my glove on, trying to be careful here. It would appear that lock is stronger now. Okay, now what I didn't show you, and I didn't get on film because that final test had to do with a C-clamp, a weight chain, a lifting cage, and some questionable decisions on my part. And for insurance purposes, I didn't want my demise to be videoed. That being said, this thing, I got this thing to hold up 80 pounds without a problem. In a weird Salvador Dali Dimco-esque weight hang test that you should never ever do at home. Also, I know it's silly, but I put a bunch of pressure. What I did was I put this on the corner of the kitchen cabinet, or the kitchen counter there. Sorry about that. And I had my glove on, you can tell right there. And I pushed down as hard as I could this way. And I had some extra padding here because I didn't trust that glove entirely. So anyways, I pushed down as hard as I could on that cabinet. And I know it doesn't sound like that's really hard, but I went ahead and tested how hard I could push down as far as pounds. Now this is not very scientific, I know, but I'm just telling you what I did to show you what I did with this lock. And so I got my scale out, put it on the same counter, and I pressed down as hard as I could, like I was super angry, and went Hulk strength on there. And I got it right around the 130 pound range for pushing down hard. Now I'm not saying this thing will hold 130 pounds, I'm just saying that's the two things I did. Push this on the same counter, put the scale on the counter, push down just as hard as I could with equal amount of Hulk-like fury, and I got around 130 pounds. I did hang 80 pounds off of this without a problem. The only problem I had was it swinging sideways, and that's when I decided to stop. I should have filmed it. However, like I said, I didn't want that to be the last thing on film. Me screaming like a little girl, please God help me. Please God, why? Why, oh, why did this happen? Anyways, enough of that cheerfulness. So what I've done is I've created the Super Ganzo. No longer will this lock die from whack testing. I don't know what those knife makers out there think is such a big deal. Wait, okay. There may be a little bit of blade play. I may have, yeah. There's quite a bit of rattle there. Alright. So I may have shaved off a little too much when I was creating this. It did come out wiggly, that is true. However, it is super, super strong for a Ganzo. And it's good for a little bang around knife, you know, chopping garlic or whatever. I might do a little in the morning when nobody's awake or nobody's gonna bother. I might do a little bit of, oh, what's the whack thing with the wood? You know what I'm talking about. Wood whacking with the thing and the chop and the block and the lock. So I might try that tomorrow, see how it goes. You can tell how hard. That's not from the whacking, that's just from pushing on this blade. How hard that weight was hanging on it. So it bent it up nicely. I'll have to repurpose this thing. So there you go, just a little bit of knife testing I was doing, a little knife work. Yeah, I add a little rattle to it. Alright, however, I didn't want to do all the hang testing and whacking with this one. I did the same mods to this one, you can tell. No play, no anything. I did do the whacking test with this, and it did not fail. I didn't hang any weights from it. You remember this one failed last time out, so I don't know if it's as super Ganzo as this, but this one's been modified too. I was able to get I took a little bit more time. I didn't get in a rush. Turned on my favorite cartoons on YouTube, sanded this, or filed it down by hand a little bit. So I created a stronger lock on this. Not that I'm going to be doing anything that requires that much strength on a lock. I just wanted to see if I could do it. I saw a video. I think Iron Man, I think you put it on here. And it was all in Russian, so I kind of had to try to figure it out. But it's super simple to do. If you have a couple of these lying around and you just want to try it, I would open this Ganzo up, but after trying to get it back together, I swore on the blood of my ancestors that I would never ever take another Ganzo apart. Well, that's no fun, I know. Alright, I'll take it apart. Be right back. Alright, let me open this up here real quick, see if I can get this out. Let's see if I can do this again without anything horrible happening to me. This is a pain to put back together. I don't think I have the right size here. 1 second. Let's go one size smaller here. There we go, much better. Okay. Just a quick show you what I did, if I can get this out of here. There we go. Alright, all I did, you can see the masterful craftsmanship of Shimmy Slash's Dremel marks here. Okay, all I did was I flattened this out, obviously a little too much, but since the lock comes this way, when you first have this blade, it's kind of angled like this, so the lock stops well within the area that it can get to. You can see that. So it stops right about there. Now if you can file this down to where it goes forward even more, instead of resting at this point on that lock bar, alright, let's just put this into perspective here. So see, when you first get this thing, it's going to be sitting right about there. So, you know, when you whack it, it's going to come loose a little bit. But now, if you look, it's sitting further up here, which puts it, you know, what, half a centimeter or 3 millimeters or whatever inside of that lock, or inside of that metal, and it's not coming loose. Now, if I'd done this correctly, it would sit there snugly, and I went down a little further. That's where you get that rattle, but it's still got a lot of strength. Does that make any sense to you guys? So now it's sitting, you can tell it's sitting up higher on the blade than it was. So that's where you're getting the strength from. And that's what I did to this one. Not as drastically, obviously, but still is a lot stronger than it was. Alright, so now I have to go through the horrible horror of trying to get this thing back together. It's going to probably involve super glue and a lot of swearing. So, like here, subscribe here, let me know what you think. And I know I did some goofy stuff, so please don't preach too hard at me. I'll talk to y'all later.